The moment Daniel saw the empty driveway, his heart sank. He had rushed straight from work, still in his wrinkled shirt, his young daughter asleep in the back seat, because today was supposed to be different. Today, he was finally going to bring his wife home. But she was already gone. A neighbor's voice cut through the silence. "She left an hour ago, with another man." The words didn't just sting, they shattered something deep inside him. Daniel stood there, frozen, as if the world had quietly moved on without asking his permission. For 3 years, he had raised his daughter alone while his wife chased success, building her empire, becoming someone the world admired. He never complained. He believed in her. He believed in them. And now, she had chosen someone else. Daniel slowly walked back to his car, trying not to wake his daughter. Her tiny hand clutched a worn-out teddy bear, the same one he had bought on a night when they could barely afford dinner. That memory hit harder than anything else. As he started the engine, his phone buzzed. A message from his wife. "I'm sorry. This is better for both of us." Daniel stared at the screen, a bitter smile forming. Better, for who? He drove aimlessly through the city, his thoughts heavy, his future uncertain. But as he stopped at a red light, he noticed something. A woman struggling to push a broken stroller, a baby crying in her arms. For a moment, Daniel hesitated. Then something inside him shifted. Because even in his lowest moment, he couldn't ignore someone else's pain. Daniel pulled his car over without thinking twice. The rain had just started, soft at first, then heavier, soaking the woman and her crying baby. Up close, she looked exhausted, her clothes worn, her hands trembling as she tried to fix the broken stroller wheel. "Hey, let me help," Daniel said gently. She hesitated, clearly unsure. People didn't usually stop. Not for someone like her. "It's okay," he added, stepping out. "I've got a daughter too." That was all it took. Within minutes, Daniel had folded the broken stroller and carefully helped her and the baby into his car. His daughter stirred slightly in the back seat but didn't wake. "Where do you need to go?" he asked. The woman looked down, embarrassed. I don't really have anywhere." Those words hit Daniel harder than anything else that day. He drove them to a small roadside cafe, bought her a warm meal, and held the baby while she ate, something she admitted she hadn't done properly in days. "Why are you helping me?" she finally asked, eyes filled with disbelief. Daniel paused. Because just an hour ago, he had lost everything he thought mattered. But looking at this woman, he realized something. "Because I know what it feels like to be left behind." The woman nodded, tears quietly falling. In that simple moment, two strangers, both broken in different ways, found a strange kind of comfort in each other. Daniel didn't know it yet. But this small act of kindness was about to change his life in a way he never expected. The next morning, Daniel woke up feeling something he hadn't felt in a long time: purpose. After dropping his daughter at school, he returned to the small shelter where he had arranged a temporary stay for the woman, whose name he now knew was Sarah. Her baby, Noah, clung to her as if the world had never been kind to them. But today felt different. "You came back," Sarah said softly, surprised. Daniel smiled. "I said I would." Over the next few days he helped her find clean clothes, spoke to a local manager about a job opening, and even fixed the stroller himself late one night after putting his daughter to bed. It wasn't much, but to Sarah, it was everything. One afternoon, as Daniel sat outside the shelter waiting for her, a sleek black car pulled up. It didn't belong in that part of town. A man in a sharp suit stepped out, scanning the area before his eyes landed on Sarah. "Miss Sarah Collins?" he asked. She froze. "Yes. I've been looking for you," he said, handing her a sealed envelope. "This was left in your name." Confused, she opened it. Her hands began to shake. "What is it?" Daniel asked. Tears welled up in her eyes as she whispered, I don't understand." She handed him the letter. And as Daniel read the words, his heart skipped a beat. Sarah wasn't who she seemed. In fact, the letter revealed something unbelievable. She was the sole heir to a massive fortune, a hidden inheritance worth millions. Daniel looked at her stunned. And suddenly, everything he thought he knew changed. Daniel read the letter twice, barely believing the words. A distant relative. A private estate. A fortune left behind, all in Sarah's name. "This has to be a mistake," Sarah whispered, stepping back. "People like me don't just inherit millions." But the man in the suit nodded calmly. "We've verified everything. You disappeared years ago after leaving your family. We've been trying to locate you ever since." Daniel looked at her, confused. "You never told me." Sarah lowered her eyes, guilt written all over her face. "Because I didn't want that life anymore." She took a shaky breath. "I grew up surrounded by money, but no love. When I got pregnant, I was told to fix it, to protect the family image." Her voice cracked as she held Noah closer. "So I left. I chose him over everything." Silence filled the space. In that moment, Daniel didn't see wealth or status. He saw a mother, just like him, a parent who chose love over comfort. "What will you do now?" he asked gently. Sarah looked at the letter again, then at Daniel. "I don't know. I'm scared." Daniel nodded. "That's okay. You don't have to figure it out alone." For the first time, Sarah smiled, not because of the money, but because someone genuinely cared. But just as the moment softened, Daniel's phone rang. He glanced at the screen, and his expression changed instantly. It was his wife. After everything, she was calling him. And somehow Daniel knew. This conversation was about to change everything, again. Daniel stared at his phone as it kept ringing. For a moment, he thought about ignoring it. After everything she had done, why should he answer? But then he looked at his daughter playing nearby, laughing softly as she held Noah's tiny hand. He picked up. "Daniel!" His wife's voice came through, softer than he remembered. "I made a mistake." He stayed silent. "I thought money, power, all of it would make me happy. But I was wrong," she continued. "That man, it wasn't real. None of it was. I lost what actually mattered." Daniel closed his eyes, letting her words sink in. For years he had waited to hear this. Dreamed of it, even. But now, something felt different. "I'm coming back," she said. "We can fix this. We can be a family again." Daniel looked ahead, at Sarah, who was nervously folding the letter, unsure of her future, and at two children who had somehow found joy in the middle of chaos. Then he spoke, calm and certain. "No." There was a long pause on the other end. "I wish you well," he added gently. "But I've already found what matters." He ended the call. Not with anger, but with peace. Days later, Sarah decided to accept her inheritance, but on her own terms. She planned to build homes and support for single parents, people just like them. And Daniel? He didn't just help change her life. He changed his own. Because sometimes, when life breaks you, it's only making space for something better. And in choosing kindness over bitterness, Daniel found a future brighter than anything he had lost.